We're doing the Gundam wing thing of burying your Gundams in the
I don't know. I
water.
would have drowned way before I ever got to the Gundam.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Gundam 00. I'm not very useful in these intros, but last time we were talking about, well, the stuff that we always talk about, which is how deep this rabbit hole goes, the implications of celestial being interfering in the affairs of the world at this time. We also don't have notes right now because this is our second recording. The way we do it is we do two back to back, so you get notes on the third, fifth, seventh, etc., because that's when we come with notes as well as comments. So if you drop a comment on YouTube and or Patreon, Theta will kindly remind us and read it out loud. Also, we ask that please, he has seen the show, I haven't, so any spoilers, please keep them to a minimal or not at all. We're perfectly fine to discuss anything that's been on the episode or before that. So Theta, what are your thoughts coming into this episode?
Wasn't ready to get prompted. Oh, man. The problem we always face here is the element that when we record these back-to-back, we typically have a conversation at the end of the last episode, right? So it's not like there's been any time between the last recording and this one for me to think up new thoughts. Though on the top of my head, let's see, we have, what? Would you say 5 different perspectives going into this?
At least.
We have the 3 different nations. We've got the, the nations, by which I mean
Nation blocks.
Well, no, I'm not even talking about that. The element of my brain going off while my mouth is still moving. The element that we have the militaries of those nations, which is what we see typically. We got Sergei, we got Graham. I guess technically the only perspective of the Union is actually the political one, because all we see is the president. Well, no, Graham is the military. Sorry, I keep getting Graham mixed up with the AEU. Patrick is the perspective of that one, but we haven't seen Patrick since episode 1. So right now, our moving perspectives are Graham representing the anti-Gundam task force of the Union, the president representing the political maneuverings of the Union, Sergei representing the military of the HRL, Human Reform League. We've seen the political representation of them, but we haven't actually seen them maneuvering or doing anything. So from that perspective, it's just as effective as the AEU's political representation, which is to say, nothing really. Well, then we have Celestial Being, which I don't know if you would count as one joint representation of their views, because it seems like every Gundam Meister has their own, as well as we've seen Sumeragi, also perspective, have their own. And then I was going to say the civilian perspective, which would be Saji and Louise, we've seen on the ground just reacting to what's on the news and, how their lives are or are not affected by what's going on.
Yeah. And also there's a civilian side to Celestial Beings. It seems at least 4 people that seem to be supporting it somehow. And they're talking. They're the ones who really talk about the changing of humanity. And
you mean Wang?
And Ribbons, whoever happens to be with Ribbons.
Well, Ribbons, literally the only thing we've heard from Ribbons is you like to watch, huh?
Yeah.
Red suit guy who just comments on what a miner drinks. So really it's just Wang, and we really haven't gotten that much from Wang past the party that she was at.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess technically. So, what? 1, 2, 3,
6,
4. Well, do we count the Gundam Meisters individually or as a group?
I think for now we're going to count them as a group, because there's really no different. I mean, there's quirks of personality, but no real opinions or takes on what's going on, other than, oh, I think this is cool. I think this is a big iffy. That's it. We don't really get a lot of.
Well, I mean, because they're like, why do we make him a Gundam Meister? And we know Setsuna has his own perspective from the past, so we don't know anything about it. Anyway, so Union politics, Union military, HRL military, Gundam Meisters, Sumeragi, and whatever the people on the bridge are like, and then the support network, I guess, for the Celestial Being.
Ptolemy, yeah.
Wang and the other people. So, yeah, 6 different perspectives at the moment currently going on. I don't know if we want to count Saji's sister as a 7th perspective, which would be the media itself.
The media, which will also be extinction of civilian / Japanese view of things, right?
Well, I think there would be a difference. There might be a difference between the civilian point of view and the media point of view.
True enough.
The media is more informed than the civilian side.
but they also have their own agenda of, generating views and all that. So, chasing the news, right? And the latest scoop, right? Rather than anything else. So, yeah. And so that paints a rather broad but interesting view of where we at. I don't know why I decided to close my eyes and talk like this, but I did.
Don't we all close our eyes when we talk?
Yeah, most of the time I
How
don't.
else can I avoid getting spit in my eyes?
I mean, that's just a whole different problem right there. Right? So yeah,
To be fair, I feel like I
earlier,
talk with more confidence now that I'm closing my eyes and talking, so I can't see what you're doing in response to my words.
yeah, well, yeah.
Unfortunately, now I can only blink when I'm talking.
The thing is, I'm still hooked on this show. I hope that doesn't happen. This show doesn't do the whole See Destiny thing, where it started pretty strong for me and then it didn't. It cratered. I'm hoping that at least it stays on this level, because if it stays on this level, I wouldn't put it like the best Gundam ever, but like fairly interesting to good right now. This is my take on it. Right, it's good because I'm hooked. I want to know what happens next, but there's still kind of it's like there's a bar above and below that's still very fussy, right? It hasn't broken. It's like, oh my god, this is the best thing ever. But at the same time, it's like, it's okay. It's not horrible.
I
Right?
know, and I'm not saying this because of having seen it before, and I'm not certainly not trying to influence you. I'm saying this because of what we've already watched in the Gundam universe, that it's never going to top what I already think is the top. Now, I know people are going to disagree with me when I say that Witch from Mercury is one of the best Gundams. It's divisive in that way, but it's always going to be one of my top ones. But always, like, Gundam Origin is up there. If not one, if not tied for one for me. That I don't think anything's ever going to top Origin for me. And even though I've said before that I'm not a big fan of Gundam Below, it's never going to be the worst. There's bad stuff out there. MS Igloo 2 is bad.
Yeah. I mean, I liked it, but that's because, I'm a Fetty, so yeah.
Well, I mean, not even that. I think I've stated before, the fact is that MS Igloo, the first one, is good because it's a continuation of a storyline, right? We got Oliver May and Monique Cadillac and their continuing stories, and how they touch on different aspects of the Zeon perspective throughout different aspects of the war, and how that's affected them. And not for nothing, you also get more of that because it's 2 seasons of MS Igloo, the original.
Yeah.
Whereas MS Igloo 2 is, what was it, like 3? Was it 3 episodes or 6 episodes?
I mean, it was pretty short. It was 3 episodes, I think.
Yeah, I know it was very short. That's why I'm confused if it was 3 or 6 in my head. But anyway, there's no continuation of character, except for maybe the 2 appearances of the Zeon god of death.
And the Colonel. And the Major. Is it the Major or the Colonel?
Oh, yeah, Kolmata. I mean, he appears like, well, maybe he appears in all of them. But he's not a continuing character. We're not following Kolmata. We're following a series of 3 completely unrelated characters, with Kolmata showing up in the background. And not for nothing, Kolmata is your I don't like this guy character. So having him be the only constant is not a good thing. So I'm not ragging on MS Igloo 2 because of the CGI. I kind of liked the CGI. It was like the worst version of the CGI we've gotten in Gundam so far, but I didn't really have a problem other than Barbary's face. That was a horror show. But I'm ragging on it because it's basically like Evolve, right? It's 3 short stories that I didn't even find the short stories to be that good. So that's why Igloo to me is the worst. Conceivably, with only 3 episodes, you could have made a super succinct story that I would have been heavily invested in with that amount of time, and they just didn't. So, as much as I say in the past me didn't like Gundam 00, it's never going to be that low in the ranking. You know me. If you've seen the Macross show rankings, shows I don't like, I still are fair to when I'm ranking them. I hated some of the Macross stuff, or, due to reasons I hated some of the Macross stuff. No F-tier Macross stuff.
Well then, I think it's time for us to get into the show, shall we?
But before we get started,
make sure that you hit the like button,
hit that subscribe button,
comment down below to feed that algorithm.
On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this,
unfiltered,
uncensored,
and uncut,
as well as some early access stuff,
you can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
島におけるソレスタルビーイングの武力介入により、我々は148名の尊い兵士たちの命を失いました。
Is that translation? Or is it just how they're just hearing the scream without blasting it to everybody?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Everybody has an earpiece.
This is what I said before in my previous reactions, that celestial being are terrorists themselves.
Yeah, you gotta love this giant screens that blasted at everybody in the street.
So the entire world knows that he's from 200 years ago now.
Yeah, it's public information, I guess.
Yeah, but I mean, they put it in a newspaper, meaning that even if you weren't paying attention, you now know. So yeah, I mean, again, this is what I said before when I said with Griffin, Celestial Being. This is why I didn't like them. Celestial Being is a terrorist organization enforcing its will on a world who has its own governments, right?
Yeah.
Conceivably, like maybe not even a definitive, but like a what if the Union is a democratically elected government. You are opposing the will of the entirety or a vast majority of the Union's people by enforcing upon them your will. And since you are a small group, 4 enforcers with some number of backers, you're enforcing the will of the minority on the majority.
Yeah.
And that's just the Union. I'm only approaching them because they represent North America, and at some point we used to be a democracy. So
yeah.
And presumably a large number of the European forces would also represent democracies. So again, how do you defend 4 people, even with the best interests in mind, enforcing their will on the entirety of the world? And not for nothing, their actions inspire fear. They're a terrorist organization.
Well, their definition of terrorism, they're using force in order to
fear of force,
a political agenda. Yeah.
地球の化石燃料が枯渇した西暦2307年、3つの国家軍により建造された3本の軌道エレベーターと太陽光発電システムによって人類は
So there's the ring, and then there's the elevators. I guess they pass.
Yeah, the elevators connect to the rings, and then the rings extend out to the solar generation systems.
己の威信と繁栄のため、大いなるゼロサムゲームを続けていた。そう、24世紀になっても人類は未だ一つになりきれずにいたのだ。
Doing a better job of it than we are now.
Yeah, you don't want to enforce global unity.
I should also mention now, while we're going over this bit, people in the comment section, please also don't spoil from the mangas, because there's a lot of mangas for Gundam to Below.
Yeah.
By which I mean a different manga series. So I mentioned before that I've read one of the prequel series. I think it was 00F.
War?
ついに都市部にまでテロの波が押し寄せてきたようね。穏健派が手を組む前に改革
Well, these two were present in episode 2, which is why I added them to the board, but no names except for one of them.
この国を立て直すためには太陽光発電システムを所有する国家軍に援助してもらうしか方法はありません。
ですが、我が国は軌道エレベーターの建設計画へ参加せず、エネルギー供給権を保有しておりません。虎の子である石油が輸出規制を受けている今。
I mean, that seems like bad planning on your part.
それを探すために議会は王政を復活させて私を担ぎ出したのでしょう。ならやるべきことは一つです。
それでも状況は切迫しているわ。このまま国内が荒れ続ければ。
Oh, you're very close to that window too. That's not a good idea.
See, you're noticing her proximity to the window. I'm noticing that she's got high riding leggings on. It's like, that's weird.
それしたるビーイング
Again, it's the point that they say that they didn't participate in the construction of the space elevator, which gives them no authority now to access the power. Maybe you should have supported the space elevator.
I mean, it depends on which national block and under what conditions they would have been.
I think looking at them, we could figure out which national block they're part of. That's clearly the advanced European Union. Depends on how extreme you want to get with it.
高級和平の実現そのためのガンダム
Still have a question. That's actually it.
ガンダムと手合わせしたのだろ忌憚のない意見を聞かせてくれ。はあ、試験ですが、あのガンダムという機体に対抗できるモビルスーツは、この世界のどこにも存在
From a distance, I thought he had an eye patch on. So like, oh man, we're all eye problems around here.
あくまで試験です。なら、君を呼び寄せた甲斐があるな。中佐、ガンダムを手に入れろ。ユニオンや AEU よりも先にだ。はっ。1000人の部隊を新設する。人選は君に任せるが、一人だけ面倒を見てもらいたい兵がいる。
So the two groups that we're covering so far, the HRL and the Union, are both about this.
Yeah.
失礼します。超人機関技術研究所より派遣されました。
Super Soldier number 1.
ソーマピーリス少尉です。
超人機関司令、まさかあの計画が水面下で続けられていたそうだ。上層部は対ガンダムの切り札と考えている。
本日付で中佐の専任部隊へ着任することになりました。よろしく。
So now we have super soldiers.
Well, we have one.
Yeah.
How do you beat new technology? Better people. Look how horrible the future is. Look how horrible the future is.
Yeah. It ain't mine, at least.
I mean, clearly. So I was gonna say, you can't even use the excuse that these people were just here. That's why it's so good for them. This dude showed up out of fucking nowhere. There's no way I believe Setsu just lives here normally.
名前覚えてくれたんだ。
誰さん？
あ、隣に住んでる刹那 F 戦員。
He remembered my name. I didn't remember your name.
Yeah. Anti-beam coating now.
壮観です、プロフェッサー。その代わり対 G システムを稼働させても、全速旋回時には 12G もかかるけどね。望むところだ。
And that's at minimum.
Yeah.
これが注意のフラッグですか。ハワード・メイソン准尉、ダリル・ダッチ総長、グラハム・エーカー中尉の要請により、対ガンダム調査隊に着任しました。
来たな。歓迎しよう、フラッグファイター。
デビッド、昼のニュースは見たか？コメンテーターがソレスタルビーイングを世界警察として任命してはどうかなんてことを言ってたよ。
No need. They made themselves that.
国連と違って維持費がかかりません。
人間の多くは
See, bright side to everything.
国家もまたしかり。彼らと手を組む者などいるはずがない。
大統領、タリビアが明日声明を発表するとの報告が。
ベーダ、あなたの予測を聞かせて。
Oh, so it's a advanced AI, I guess?
Or just somebody on the other side of the computer.
私たちの立場は危うくなる。
Also, 12 mission plans are on that board.
やはりタリビア。
ユニオンは50を超える国家の議会制を取りながらも、実質は太陽エネルギー分配権を持つ米国一国の独裁体制で運営されている。ユニオンの特別議会を開く。主要国代表を招集。
Parliament.
わかりました。
That's democracy.
我がタリビア共和国はユニオンを脱退し、独自のエネルギー使用権を主張する。この主張に反対し、他国から政治的、軍事的圧力がかかった場合、我が国は軍事力を持ってこれらに対抗する。
You probably shouldn't have thrown that part in there.
Yeah.
劣悪なる米国支配に断固反対する。
Seems to me you could have tried to use the celestial being to your advantage
Yeah.
by declaring your independence and then seeing if the UN, or sorry, the US,
昔から反米意識が根強いけど、ユニオンを脱退して一方的にエネルギー。
it's also weird that they're calling it anti-US sentiment when it's the Union.
Well, I guess the implication is that the Union is the shell that is controlled by the United States.
Yeah,
right?
but I mean, if we're calling it the Union at all, you still refer to it as anti-Union sentiment. See, America of the Union.
予測。
少尉、タリビアがなぜこのような強硬策に出たかわかるか？
ユニオンが軍事行動を起こせば、ソレスタルビーイングが介入してくると考えての。
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You shouldn't have said the part that will respond in kind.
誘い出されて現れるか、ガンダム。
タリビアがソレスタルビーイングを利用しているというの。
羨ましいわ。あのような恐喝じみた強硬姿勢が貫けるのも、タリビアが軌道エレベーター近くにあればこそ。我が国とは違い、切れるカードがある。
Yeah, I was about to say, otherwise you guys would probably do something similar.
さあ、でもソレスタルビーイングがどうタリビアに対応するかで、この国の未来が変わるかもしれないわね。
この国の未来が
利用できるという
So she said.
彼らを。
I love it when they repeat exactly what the other person just said.
But probably 'cause some people don't pay attention,
Yeah.
said commenters to us.
ミッションを開始します。ガンダムマイスターたちに連絡を。
Aren't they right in front of you?
No, those were the people from the bridge. I mean, he's in Tokyo. They're in space. He's somewhere on the planet too. They're in space.
So you have two groups who want to either destroy or capture the Gundams.
Yeah, we haven't heard anything about what the AEU wants.
Oh, okay, he's going swimming. Yeah. We're doing the Gundam wing thing of burying your Gundams in the
I don't know.
water?
I would have drowned way before I ever got to the Gundam.
Yeah. It was anime.
Also, not for
characters, I
nothing, it
guess.
was nighttime and it's deep
Uh-huh.
underwater. I would have lost. I would have gotten lost.
Yeah, there's no light there.
Again, I still get very confused by trying to look at their faces and determine who they are. Lock-on is the one with a Haru in his cockpit. That's very easy to tell.
I imagine some guard going like, "What the hell is that?"
私もだ。さて、このカスタムフラッグがどこまでガンダムに対抗できるか。いや、そうする必要があると見た。
Well, my dude, it's episode 4. That doesn't seem likely.
Yeah.
ユニオンの艦隊とアメリカ第二艦隊がタリビア近海に到着。ブラジルの駐屯基地からも航空兵力が出撃。タリビアの主要都市の制空権を掌握した模様です。タリビア軍は3カ所の主要都市に陸上用モビルスーツ部隊を集結。
Because of course they also have flags. Because they're former Union.
スメラギさん、どうするんです？
決まってるわ。私たちのやるべきことは一つよ。
intervene. So I was thrown by the fact that the Union has the stupidest hats.
Yeah.
Gee, I wonder who's here.
首相、ソレスタルビーイングが現れました。やはり来たか。ガンダムは分散し、3つの主要都市へそれぞれ向かうと思われます。武力介入する気か。
So my game of DEFCON 4 looks like.
ソレスタルビーイングが武力介入をすれば、タリビアの強硬姿勢を手助けすることになるわ。
逆に武力介入をせず、ユニオンの軍事行動を許せば。
Come on, guys. We know that they're going to attack both sides. Which I guess, actually, the act of attacking both sides will be supporting Torabia.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing Torabia has to do is not do anything. Just like, we're
No, I
not
mean,
doing
the
anything.
point is that even if they do something,
Yeah.
the Gundams will destroy the Torabia military, but they'll also destroy the Union military, in which case Torabia still wins.
Oh, I guess they are destroying the Torabia.
As I'm saying, if Torabia has no military, and the Union can't attack them because of the same problem,
Yeah.
then Torabia wins. It gets what it wants with no conflict, or no further conflict.
イオリアシュヘンベルグは声明でこう言ったはずよ。
ソレスタルビーイングは戦争を幇助する国も武力介入の対象であると。
Yeah, but they're not going to take out the government that caused it, though.
Yeah. I guess it's the idea you don't go against the people, you go against the means of this, you know. That declaration in war is like, we're not attacking the country, we're attacking their means
Well, no,
of
I mean, he just
interconnected
said,
war, right?
he just said Torabia is a country that promotes war. But you're only going to attack their military. You're not going to stop the thing that's causing that. And again, it doesn't even address the element that Torabia's government is put into this position because of the Union.
Yeah.
You can tell this Gundam was designed by a gamer.
Yeah. Oh, you decided to intervene.
しかし、これは一方的だ。
Boo-hoo?
なんだと。そうか。ガンダムは我が軍に攻撃を。ブライアン大統領へホットラインを。
Now you're gonna defend us?
The name of the episode is International Negotiation. What did you think was going to happen?
攻撃を開始したようだな。私は彼らの行動を遺憾だと思っている。もちろん、ユニオン脱退を撤回していただけるなら我々は帰国を守るために喜んで軍を派遣しよう。そうか。
As if that's going to work. Also, President, why are we using the old-timey phone?
我が軍は友好国であるタリビア共和国防衛のため、ソレスタルビーイングに攻撃を開始する。
アメリカのモビルスーツ部隊が発進しました。予想通り、タリビアの防衛行動だと思われます。そう。ミッション通り、各ガンダムは撤退を開始。安全圏へと離脱。
とんだ茶番だ。
I guess because they're working as a unified unit, they're no longer fighting, in which case we don't have to intervene.
米軍のフラッグです。米軍？どういうこと？スペックの2倍以上のスピードで。
It's going pretty damn fast.
あのフラッグはこれでガンダムと戦える。見事な対応。
Can you though?
プレジデント。
12 Gs. He just took 12 Gs.
Yeah.
It would have given Zex Marquis a heart attack. shit, I'm only made for above the water combat. You say that word in a funny way. I mean, I would love if the rest of the show was just him upgrading a flag constantly to keep doing more and more shit.
そしてアメリカもこうなることを予測していたようね。
予測していた。
ソレスタルビーイングに武力介入をされたタリビアは率先して米軍の助けを借りたのよ。これによりタリビア国内の反米感情は沈静化し、アメリカ主導の政策に舵を切ることができる。タリビアの現政権もアメリカの支援を受けて安泰。他の国々もタリビアの二の舞を避けるべく露骨な反米政策を打ち出す。
Or again, they'll just threaten the power and not use military force of their own and use celestial being to be their police. By the way, you're shrinking again.
Yeah, that's alright.
アザディスタン王国第一王女マリナ・イスマイール様。
ねえ、どういうことなの姉さん。ソレスタルビーイングがタリビア軍を攻撃って、あの国は戦争も何もしてないじゃないか。
そうね。
It literally did.
戦いをやめさせるとか言ってたくせに、戦いを引き起こしてる。そんなのおかしいよ。
That's not the right read on that situation, Saji.
I think it is. Because nobody said they didn't shoot, so literally the combat had not happened. There was a standoff.
I didn't know how long we were get till the end credits. That's holding up.
Yeah.
I mean, fair enough. They did fire first. But the idea is that if you see a conflict coming, you are beholden to your own rules. So you don't have to follow a we meet force with equal force sort of thing. They're not a national entity. They're not beholden to anybody. If you see a fight about to happen, do you not... I guess it's morality instead of duty. You know, there's no duty of care here because there's no legal authority that you're representing or beholden to.
Yeah,
so,
but you have assumed the moral position that that war is wrong and you're going to stop war, right?
Right, right, and you can see a fight is about to happen. Both forces are mobilized and the Americans are moving in to attack. So, can you not just assume?
Yeah, why not attack the Americans first, take them out, and then, you know, if that's the case...
Because you're attacking both sides. That's the point. You're always attacking both sides.
They didn't attack the Americans. They left. They retreated.
Yeah, because the Americans then sided with the Turabians, in which case there's no fight. By the same token, you are going to assume a fight's about to happen because a fight is clearly about to happen. You can then assume that a fight isn't going to happen anymore and leave. They didn't stick around to cause a war. Hold on.
アレルヤを過去へと誘う急げキュリオス命朽ち果てる前に次回限界離脱領域抗えぬ重力がガンダムを蝕む
So I enjoy the element that, oh, they formed an alliance together to attack us. We're going to leave because they're no longer going to attack each other, which is the thing we're here for. We're not here to fight a war against us. We don't care that you hate us. You know? So I appreciate that element. And yeah, you're right, they did attack first. But, again, clearly a fight was about to happen. They interceded before the actual combat.
Well, that's kind of thing. It's like, but what happens if nobody shoots? Then there's no fight.
Well, it goes to the argument we already previously brought up. Their mere existence causes more conflict in the world. So, in that aspect, clearly, we don't care about that part. We're we're enforcing our mandate, which is to prevent war, regardless of how it happens. We don't care that our presence incites more war, for the fact that the force that we apply should then stop more wars than our presence would start. So, if you take that look at things, then the fact is that them shooting first may start the fight, but it doesn't really start any fight because there's no... I think the other force has to have some sort of chance to fight back against you for it to be considered a fight. The same way that a massacre is, So
that's what it is. If they can't fight back and they're like, oh, you know, I'm just going to kill you all, and Nobody's left alive to complain, you know?
Yeah, so I mean, it follows through from my point of view. Again,
Yeah,
this
it's one of
isn't
those.
my agreement with what's going on. I just think it's logically following through on what they've stated and seem to believe.
Which is what now would you start taking the boxes of the but like, yeah, this actually might happen. This might
Again, I think it
actually
would be
happen.
worse if they were beholden to somebody. Like, if it turned out
True.
that Celestial Being was actually an arm of the United Nations or something. And in which case it's like, oh, international law and, all this other shit that they would be highly disregarding, or rules of
I mean, the United
engagement or
Nations seems to
anything.
exist, but has been essentially sidelined by these,
Well, no, I'm saying that if they did represent some other authority, right? And I'm trying to pick an authority that would be outside of the superblocks, right? So they would be negligent of the rules of engagement or in violation of all these international laws. But at the end of the day, it's no different from one guy in a God Gundam. It's like he might be breaking the law and whatnot, but at the end of the day, if nobody can if nobody can impose the law upon him, then he is beyond that. And if he does not believe, if he's not going to impose the law on himself, then he can do whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah, it's a Superman conundrum, basically. We're lucky that Superman is good, otherwise we're screwed, right?
The Lex Luthor argument.
Yeah.
That humans should control human destiny, not an alien from another world. We don't need to be lucky that Superman is good. We need to control our own destiny and ensure that if Superman does turn out to be bad, that we are still in control.
Yeah.
Or I guess that's more of an Amanda Waller than Lex Luthor. Well, I'm mixing the two.
Lex Luthor has made that argument many
times.
I
mean, Amanda Waller is we need to be in control if Superman's bad, but Lex Luthor is the human destiny argument.
Yeah. We don't need
the classical
no
Lex Luthor.
Nation. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't hate it because in many ways I haven't picked a side. This doesn't feel like something that you pick a side like we usually do, like Federation and SAC and I just feel like I'm an observer of all the things that are happening, going like, oh, this is pretty cool. Okay, I see what's going on here. Because if I were to pick a side, I think it would poison my enjoyment of this.
Again, I've picked a side for you. You are in the Celestial Being camp. Here's the thing. I still think once you get to know who Sumeragi is, you'll be more in line with them. But they haven't been expressed very on beyond being an alcoholic on the bridge. So, again, you're being drawn as them, so technically I picked a side for you. On the same token, if I was in the world, I would not want to be the guy I'm getting drawn as either. It just, in my appreciation of things, it's like, who do I want to be drawn as? And again, the AI picked for me a group of 3 people. The number one was Graham Aker. No, thank you. I guess, actually, if I want to be drawn as anybody, it would be Patrick Colasar. So keep that in mind for if you whenever we see him again.
Yeah.
Again, one of the 2 people whose names I will eminently always remember. The nickname, rather, I should say.
Yeah. I mean, but right now I'm in the timelines looking at everybody go like, which is ironic because I complain about other shows about not being invested in a group, right, or a person. I'm invested in the characters, so I find the main character, he's cold but also the PTSD and being a child, so like, god damn, poor kid, right?
I find that at this point I'm still not invested in anybody. Saji and Luis still my favorite characters. I think probably will be till the end, even though I just said Patrick Colasar would be the guy I would be drawn as. Saji and Luis are always going to be my favorite characters. I mean, from this moment right now, I still say that because they're our civilian perspective. They're us if we were in the show.
Yeah. Again, bystanders, victims of everything.
Yeah, I mean, they're reacting like, well, what's on the news? What's happening here? Why would they do that? What the fuck is going on here? So I appreciate having the civilian point of view character. Don't really get that in like Gundam Wing, for example, because who's your civilian there? Relina? Pagan?
Not really, because they're too close to power to count as.
Well, I mean, yeah, because she goes from the daughter of the diplomat
to be a queen.
Yeah, and then when she's nobody, she just goes back into politics. So we don't really get a ground level, other than I guess maybe the kids in the school. the teenagers in the school that she's teaching, who barely
Sort
get
of.
any
I mean, we
lines, and
get
it becomes
glimpses.
Dorothy, who herself is.
The old man who said, this always happens. We just move
Yeah,
somewhere else.
but I'm
But that
talking
just,
constant characters, though. That's why, like,
I think
Dorothy
the people in the
coming to school.
circus, what's her name?
The ring. I mean, you're talking Catherine and Ringmaster, but
Yeah.
Catherine barely. I mean, her interaction isn't what's going on here. It's leave Troa alone. Ringmaster's the only one who expresses any of that, and he's like once.
Couple of episodes at most. Yeah.
We've gotten 4 episodes so far, and I think 3 times in 4 episodes gotten the Saji and Luis perspective.
Yeah, I mean this is pretty good because it covers a lot of ground, right? Where in other places, it's not bad that you focus on a character. I don't mind that at all. But they're covering a lot of ground without feeling like you're like, why am I wasting time with these characters? I don't care about these people. I don't care what they
Gundam
do.
Seed certainly had no ground level characters either.
Yeah, and so it's like, but I mean, talking about covering, military politics, the pilots, civilians, the media. This is doing so far. I always qualify it that way. A good coverage. Like I feel like, oh yeah, we're gonna see what these people think. Okay, we didn't overstay our ground. We get a feeling for what's going on. Okay, we can move on. It's not too short that it feels like what happened there, and it's not too long. You're like, yeah, but these people can't do anything. What's the point? Like why are we wasting half an episode of the romance between these two characters and she ran away from him and he's supposed to follow us? Like that has nothing to do with. We might get an episode of that maybe, and it could work on the context, right? There's some tragedy and war has come to Tokyo and they have to survive. Yeah, that would be a cool episode or two, right? But right now it's like, oh no, this is a glimpse from civilians in a well-to-do country. What's going on? How they see things, So it's a good spread.
I mean, it certainly works to establish the personality types.
Yeah.
So that we see that you're saying, like, why would we spend so much of an episode on You Need to Chase Me, whatever like that? I think it's establishing that Saji is a bit of a...
yeah.
The word was in my head, now it's left me. Not obtuse. Naive?
I mean, naive, I think it would be the thing.
Yeah. Through their interactions with one another, we're establishing what their character archetypes are. Luis is confused, but she's headstrong. Saji is friendly and naive. And then from that perspective, garnered from their relationship with one another, when they interact with the news, we know what kind of people that they would be, that they would represent, say, in our own lives, when we need to apply that to other people to think about what we should think about them. So their character relationship is good for implying who they are, for us to then understand what their opinions or fears or thoughts would be about when they watch the news, about what the world government is doing, or what the celestial being is doing in response to that.
Which is something that, especially in Seed and Sid Destiny, kind of was missing. They sometimes gave us a feel for it, but it was so few of it. It was always so high level. Oh, the politicians and the Gundam pilots, and that's just this high level stuff. And the average person was like, yeah, we get a couple of glimpses of them reacting to something major, and that's it, right? They were the thing that people were fighting over. But we never really got an insight of what they felt, right? Here we getting it again. The narrative is economic without being stingy, or without, a good balance is economic. It's not stingy, and it's not drowning us in things that seems like, derailing the narrative, right? Which is one of the problems I had on this with Wing. Was like, oh, we're spending like half an episode, and these kids in the beach is like, why? Oh, so we can show that this one of the characters likes to play with dogs. Okay, he's not a complete monster. Cool, but so much happening. Explain that. Give us more of that,
Yeah, because it never followed anything to why any... we stole a carrier group, and it was not important in any way whatsoever. It just moved on to the forest next episode. Yeah. Although, to be fair, we haven't, paid off anything that wasn't itself a combat scenario here, right?
Yeah.
Like, they go to meet at the airport or the space elevator, right? Because Terra has gone up to space. And it's like, oh, now the linear space transport's on its way up. Why were we all 3 here, though? Why were all 4 of us here? We didn't trade any information or anything. We just, all were here. You ordered me milk, and then Tierra left.
Yeah, I think. Well, I think it's established just a relationship between them in a very short way. Like they know each other, they're comfortable around each other. You know,
But we've done that
they're-
before. Remember the
Yeah.
conflict at
and it does
formerly
solve
Sri
that issue. It's
Lanka. They're
like,
like, why is he even a Gundam Meister?
yeah,
Because they're
and
having
they're not
doubts about him.
they're not pulling the teleportation trick of Wing. Like, oh, you're here now, and then you're there, everywhere. Like, at least not yet, anyway. We
I mean, they
actually see them
kind of are,
going-
but in a way that doesn't really matter. Because we
We
know
see them
that
going
they have a
places.
spaceborne base that could be anywhere on Earth that they want to be. We also
Yeah.
know that they're basically the only group in the world that has like equivalent to Minovsky particles, and that they just go undetected. I mean, other than the fact, one of the things I appreciated was, oh, we can't track them on radar. Get the cameras. Like, obviously, I've
Yeah.
said that all throughout Universal Century Gundam. Like, legitimately, we've got control of Earth space. The Bridgefield telescopes, just fucking look for it. And these things fucking shine like Edward from Twilight. So, legitimately, we could find them. And these are like, seems to be artificially intelligent or somewhat computer-driven cameras that are keeping an eye on them. So, just seems like it should
and they
be
can also
able.
detect the particles themselves. They're like, oh, that we see a disturbance. Oh, well, what kind of disturbance? This type of disturbance. Oh, they're coming. Prepare yourselves. Which
Yeah.
also happens in the UC.
I mean, also
eventually,
they
but,
find them because they said, "Oh, we're on the maximum resolution," so they're tracking them from the circle,
Satellites,
the ring around the
yeah,
Earth.
Yeah.
So it's like we got a pretty good perspective to eyeball the entire fucking Earth. But shit, I don't know where I was going with this. I get so focused on the camera thing. I think it's because
That it's
during
well
Witch from
written. It's well
Mercury,
written and covers
during Witch
space,
from Mercury, me and Griffin were reading the novelization of an extra bit, and legitimately they were talking about telescopes with AI on them and everything. Like, it's like, oh, that's a great thing. Like, so many shows could use that.
AI for. Yeah, I think you should be using AI for.
Well, no, I mean, oh yeah, because they're trying to. The thing in Witch from Mercury is they're trying to use the Gundam technology for non-military purposes, and that's what they're trying to sell. So, Gundam technology for like limb replacement and whatnot. That's the main thing.
But yeah, there you have it. Another solid, good episode. Is it? I'm feeling that I can't say it's like the best because there's so little episodes we've seen. I think when I go back, it's like, is that a good episode? I need context to start deciding which is actually a best episode. That's a episode of what, 4? No.
Well, I
not
mean,
really.
you're 4 out of 25, 2 seasons of 25 episodes apiece, so 50 by the end, and then a movie.
I certainly feel much better in watching this than I feel watching at this the same time Zeta, because I was like, I hate.
And everyone loves Zeta.
It's supposed to get better.
Like I said, even though I said I didn't like this the first time around, certainly I find this better to be Zeta as well. Zeta, I feel like suffers from some stuff Wing suffered from. Like, why are you doing this? Why are we following? Am I supposed to like this guy? Like, a bunch of shit like that. Well, I'm glad we're wrapping up here because your internet is shitting itself hard.
Yeah.
All right, well, with all of that said, once again, I have been Theta, this has been Lessons, we've been Stoneface Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below, and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video and what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?